Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Susie.
Hello, sorry.
Are you on mute?
No?
No, you're not. This is my audio. Oh,
I hope not. I've had parents-teachers meeting the whole day, so it's a whew.
system. Okay. Can you
I can hear you. Yeah?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I'm on a new laptop with work, and it's been tricky navigating.
Which one is it now?
Oh, it's a massive, gigantic lump of, it's called a ZBook HP, and I'm used to a real thin Mac, and this thing, if you dropped it on somebody, you'd kill them for sure. It's huge.
As if you have nothing else to carry.
Man,
They forget.
I'm building my muscles. How are you doing today?
Okay, I've had parents teachers from this morning, so I was just telling my helper and my husband that all the time from this morning I've been chap, and I feel like tired from talking the whole morning. So I've asked half an hour to finish earlier, but then there was just a phone call, and that's it. So
it's heavy going, isn't it? Like talking is actually tiring.
It's very tiring, non-stop, and it has been one after. There was not even one free slot, not even one. I was hoping, even my lunchtime was gone, and I said, whoa, tomorrow is the same, day after will be better. Okay, it's 3 days.
It's a heavy way to end the term, isn't it? Particularly a long term.
It has been a long term. I'm not looking forward to the next one, I must say, because there is no midterm break. At least here we had October.
Okay.
I'm a little bit afraid. Let's see.
Down here, there was no midterm break down here. So they went straight through from August until National Day. No break.
Oh, that's a long.
Yeah. Yeah. And teachers were they were nearly crawling to work.
But this is why I thought of talking about this now, because I think it's a very important topic that we have these 3 weeks to look after ourselves, because I see a lot of teachers who are, we are really all in the same situation, and we really need to look after ourselves. So exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how many we have. I've sent it to Abu Dhabi also.
22. We have 20 people with us. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Lasmi.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Ladies and gents, if you could turn on your cameras, it's so much easier for us to present when we see people. Hi, Leslie. Thank you. Hi, Arshat. Yeah, it's much better when we can see people, because we're not just looking at a number of big black boxes. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you all doing? Are you looking forward to the break? I bet.
Yes, actually, it is much needed break,
Yeah.
Indeed it is. Shall we begin, Suzie?
I think so. Otherwise, I'm afraid not to be able to have question answers towards the end.
Okay. Okay, everybody, welcome to this afternoon's session. I hope you're all well and that you had a nice National Day break. Today, we will welcome Suzie to present. Suzie is the lead counsellor with GEMS and our regular fortnightly co-host with myself. All the mics are muted on entry, but if you have a question throughout, please type it in the chat box. I'll keep an eye on the chat and we can present them at the end for questions and answers. If during the presentation you have something that you think is really pertinent, please feel free to contribute. Or if you want to ask clarification on anything, please do. And as usual, we are not the only experts. We're not the only ideas here. So if anybody has anything they want to share or has had success stories, please do so. And we'd be very happy to have somebody new come and host with us as well. So welcome to the session and over to you, Suzie.
You'll change the slides?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So I was thinking about talking about promoting the staff well-being because as we can see, many of us, we are dead tired. It's the end of the term and we have been giving so much of ourselves and then and neglecting ourselves. So I'd like to speak about the well-being in the workplace, the schools that has a model for workplace well-being. We're promoting the staff well-being, how we can do that. What means staff well-being during the COVID? Who is responsible? Who is responsible for the staff well-being? And then try to reply to any of your questions if you have any. Okay, so that's how we are going to work. So that's the school where I work. That's my new school. Very nice, very happy. For now we have space. If I tell you how I started, you will not believe. I've been working for nearly more than 14 years in a kind of a toilet and was responsible of inclusion at that time. And then that was changed into a kind of a classroom. It was not even that, but we have had amazing successes in things. And then we changed, I got a classroom. And then just recently, now that I'm responsible of counseling, I have a proper counseling room and a quiet room. I've been so happy and lucky to have a quiet room where we can go for mindfulness with my students who are on the autistic spectrum. And there's a lot of things going on there. So it's nice to really just to recompose yourself. So that's nice. Yes, miss. So we have changed from an industrial economy to become a digital economy. And you know that more and more, for example, where we were before thinking only about the health and safety at the place of your work, now there is a shift, and mainly about the past, let's say 2.5 years, 3 years, we are talking more and more about, and what about the teacher's health? And last year, it has been a real focus where we are really thinking about the teacher's mental health, because we know very well that if we are not okay, we cannot perform as well as that. And yes, a physical pain, we know it's physical, people know that you're not okay, but when you're not okay inside, people don't take the time to stop and read you unless you are very close friends of someone. And with the distant learning, what has happened also is that we have not been seeing our colleagues, so we don't know what was going on. And it has been very tough term, last term, the term 3 of 2019-2020, it was me and myself. You know, you didn't meet other people. There was a lot of things thrown at you, new ways of working, lots of planning, being on time, being here, there, everywhere. You didn't have time for yourself. You had not even had time to look after your own kids at that time. So there was a lot of things that we were juggling with, and that has really created a lot of issues in many of us. We know that also some teachers are here working by their own. They're not here with their family, and there were nobody to talk to. They were just between their 4 walls. So that has also taken a toll on us. And if you are even in a big family and you have been with people who don't understand what's teacher's job, because they think, oh, but you work only from 8 to 2 or 8 to 3. But they don't know how much of planning and corrections and what is required of you after, all the CPDs and all that. So you are not able to sometimes talk with people who are thinking alike of you and who can really support you. So it has been really difficult. Yes, miss. So there was time where we were thinking that mental health was seen as a taboo, okay? And it is still seen as a taboo. Although we speak a lot about it, we speak about depression, we speak about anxiety, we speak about stress. Before, we would never be able to say that, oh, I'm stressed. For example, sorry, Catherine, I'm going to use you as an example because I know you well and you know me well. So for example, if Catherine would be stressed, well, in the past, she would say, I'm stressed. And I would say, oh, come on, because I know that she can do more. I know her because she's maybe my tennis partner or whatever it is. And I know how much she is able to run and this and that. But that sentence of saying, I'm stressed, means a lot. It's not only related to work. It may be about other things. For me, I have no shame to say, I'm a technophobe. So if someone says to me, can you do this? I would say, whoa, whoa, whoa. I will do it, paper, pen. But ask me to do it on computer, it takes me ages. And you know, so those kind of things. So you may be stressed about different things, but it's not to look down on someone. Before it was like that. Oh, she's stressed. She's not able to manage this. Well, everybody is on a different level of stress. What I can take may not be the same for Catherine, or what Catherine can do may not be the same for me. So we cannot judge things. And I think that what we have done so well in the community, and I think that really many companies have given webinars, free webinars, just to express how much you matter. And if we don't put ourselves first, it's going to be very difficult. So yes, that we are having this kind of anxiety, we are afraid of not performing, not able to give the best of ourselves because we are more of a face-to-face. It's easier to teach face-to-face than to be juggling between face-to-face and distant learning. It's not always easy to do so. So how do you say, it's your anxiety that matters, and to able to say enough. It's so important. So the taboo stops from now. If you are able to say, and it happens, even yesterday, I was just writing to Catherine and another friend, and when we can't, we just write to it, say, yo, this is this and this is that. And we are able to express that. We don't meet, we don't have time to sit down and take a coffee, but we know that when we write, there is someone there who is listening, who is totally on board to understand what you're going through. And we'll be able to say, well, you know, let that go, let this happen, and we can move on. So what has happened is that in 2017, there were 970 million people in the world who were having mental health issues. 1/4 of them were about depression. And when we speak about depression today, we are not speaking about elderly people. Before it was, you know, people who are in their late 40s, 50s, and more. Today, we are speaking about middle-aged people are facing this, and youngsters. We are seeing that among our students. So we cannot say that, oh no, come on, how can you be depressed? Well, we cannot dismiss that because there are different reasons for depression. So we need to understand that mental health is really become the number one, besides the vaccine that we're talking about COVID. But the main thing is about our mental health, because if we are okay, we would be able to do better. Yes, miss. So the well-being in the workplace. So we have the WHO has really now understood and accepted, and the DSM-5 is also changing and all, where we have really now agreed that burnout is a serious illness. It's a chronic illness. Okay, so there is a major shift in the understanding of mental health. What is burnout? Burnout is when you reach a stage where you are frozen. You can't do anything. You are like, everything becomes too much. You are more lethargic. You are not able to think well. You're not able to, everything seems too much, that you have really a lack of energy to move. You may be able to go out and maybe have a walk, but if I ask you something related to your work, that's not possible. So you feel like, you know, it's become too much. Now, when we speak about burnout, we have, and I come from Belgium, and I know that many people in my country from the age of 27 are put on work hold, so on work holidays, just because of being burnout. And they get 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes, of working time, paid by the government, so minimal money is still coming in. Now these kids are so used to, if I call them kids because they're much younger than me, are so used to be having government wages for doing nothing. So they keep on extending their burnout situation, and it's very difficult to get back into the routine or to get back into a workplace. So we need to understand it as soon as possible and treat it as soon as possible. Yes, miss. Now, well-being in the workplace, now it's in the, so what's happening? Where is it? But it's everything, it's in the head. But it's not something, as we said, it's like a hidden handicap. You know, it's like we speak a lot about ADHDs and all these people, but we say it's a hidden handicap because they are everywhere and they're bubbly and they have so much of energy and things like that. But actually there's something going on inside that is hindering them to sit down and to focus for a long period of time. But it's the same for us. When we are really stressed out, well, it's all happening here. And what happens to you may not happen to someone else. So this is why we need to really focus on this well-being, and it's so important. And I will ask this question again at the end, but what is happening for your well-being? Who is in charge of your well-being? Because it's not only your job. You may want to just say, oh, today, you know what? I can't deal with this. I'm going to take a day off. If that works for you and you can, well, that's fine. But you know also that tomorrow when you'll go in, you'll have double work. You know, so we have to face that and see how we can do this. Yes, miss. So the well-being workplace, it's also, we have to stand up against this and to make sure that we can speak for everyone. I'm speaking about more in large community. I'm part of a group where we have all kinds of schools. And I know that in some of my sister schools, it's seen as a weakness. But so this is what I stand up for. I'm a representative of counseling network for all my group. And one of the things that we do, we stand up for each other. So it's something that we really say that, you know, it's not normal that in a school where you have 5,000, that you have that the poor counselor has to deal with all this. That's not possible. It's normal that she's drowning. So if we can help and go in that school and give a helping hand once a week, well, that's how we can help one another. But what is very good, we voice it between us so that we can extend that help. And we are allowed within the group to go and help out in one school or the other. So if we can do that, that's good. But how many of us can really stand up and say, I'm not okay? And it starts with us. And it's okay to recognize our limits. Because if you show all the time up and about, well, they will keep on throwing things at you because things needs to be done. And as they know that you are a doer, they will continue sending it. So till you reach the end and they will say, oh, I don't understand what happened to so-and-so. I don't understand what happened to Catherine. How did that happen? Well, we have not seen the sign on her face that she was not smiling anymore. We couldn't see that she was getting more tired. We didn't see that she is having black colors under her eyes or things like that. And that were the signs saying that, you know, she's working very late to be able to finish what we are asking. So it is okay to say, I need a break. Yes, miss. So it's okay to say no. And I think that is very important to say when you reach your limit, it's good to say that this is it. Okay, I know my principal has signed up for something. He didn't ask permission. Don't say that he has to ask me permission, but he could have asked me, are you okay to do it? Now, when I saw the plan about that thing, it's the Wellbeing Award for schools. And it's a huge thing. It's huge. But okay, and then you go also for the Send Award. It's also happening. And it's huge for one person to do. But when I was sitting down and putting down everything that I'm doing over the years, afterwards that, well, it's not that bad. But I'm sorry, as we say, it's a school well-being. It's not me. I'm not going to take it only on me. And I've pulled 10 papers with me, and I've taken students with me, and I've created small groups of students and all, and I've delegate. And now, yes, I can. So I can tell the principal, yes, we'll try to do so, and we'll try to reach as far as we can, but know my limits that I'm not okay because as I don't know if you know, but I lost my father a few months ago, and there's a lot of things going on. And it's okay to say, I'm not 100% to do what you're asking me to do. So they are also backing off and they say, okay, she's able to do this much, it's fine. Or they will appoint someone else to do, and that's fine too. Yes, please. So this is Charlotte Lieben. I like her very much because she speaks a lot about the stigma around the mental health and vulnerability. Please, if you don't follow her, please do. I love Brené Brown. She's amazing when she speaks about vulnerability, about shame. She's written some fantastic books. I will put it down in the chat afterwards. Really, really good things about that. So it is not going to be solved simply through a better data, nor can it be overcome through an array of shiny amenities. We must learn to accommodate people who are dealing with challenges that are often invisible, undefined, and very difficult to talk about. We know that we have people coming from all parts of the world, and some part of the world, we don't speak about it because it's seen as taboo, as I was saying before. So we need to allow and open this place so that we can more and more speak about it. We must show them that we care, and at the very least, we are trying to understand. That's so important. When you have SLT members understanding what you're going through, then you know that you're in a caring school. And I think that's very important. Yes, miss. So the workplace, it needs to change completely. We need to be together. It's not about only to reach, we need to recharge our battery so that we can rejuvenate. You know, it goes hands in hands, and that doesn't, you can't leave one without the other. So we need to, how do you say, otherwise, where do you get your energy from? We know at the end of the day, like I see most of you today, and believe me, I'm ready to just finish here because there's been a long day, and we are not as fresh as we were in the morning because we have been running and being up and about. So there is a time of the day that you need a downtime. When can you have that downtime? When can you have the time to be with your own self and to say, I'm enough? It's so important. Yes, miss. So a few weeks ago, there was a study that was done by the tests about the well-being, and they found out that 21% of the teachers were feeling that their stress level is not sustainable. And 19 teachers felt that their workplace work-life balance is unsustainable. So we can see that the teachers are more and more suffering from this thing, that there is no more, how do you say, that they have the impression of working all the time. What's the quality of life? If we have to wait the weekend to do things that we enjoy, there's a problem. If you were the kind of person who you could do yoga or Zumba or tennis or go for golf in the middle of the week, and now you don't have the time to do so, there's a problem. What has taken over? If it's work, then you need to stop and think, can I do it differently? Can I delegate? Can I say no? If I say no, what is going to happen to me? Are they going to be upset? Are they going to make me redundant? What is going to happen? You know, so it's very important, because if you don't start thinking about yourself, the next fellow person is not going to think about you. It's because you respect yourself that they will respect you. Okay, so it's very important that you are happy with your work and life balance. It's very important, because if you have to give so much, because I'm not even talking about your salary, please. It's the satisfaction of the job. That's the most important thing. So when I give, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the productivity of my day to day. Am I tired? Hell yeah. Do you want to say no to some? Of course, we all want to. But it's just that, how can we say no? I had parents teachers today, and I had some very difficult parents. And to some of them, it was just, how do you say no? Because it's always good to say teachers are not doing, teachers are not doing, teachers are not doing. I said, can I just say one thing? I understand, I'm sorry, I'm not a teacher, I'm a counselor, but I can just put in the other way. Are we teachers not suffering from COVID? Are we teachers not having to plan? Have we teachers failed in any other ways? Have we not been on a call 24/7? You know, when we were showing one after the other, the father understood and said, oh my God. And I said, when I said that we have been living a very difficult time, that I was not even able to travel when I had a big problem in my life, well, then they understand and say, oh my God. Then compassion and empathy comes in. Well, we don't need to tell our life stories to have that. Just by saying no is good enough, because they cannot allow, when we know how hard we are working, please don't allow parents to use you as a doormat. We are doing our best with what we have. Yes, miss. So looking at the schools and models for workplace of well-being. Yes, miss, please. So what we have, the schools are expert when they are looking after their students. When they are looking, that is the promise that we do. You know, as a well-being counselor, we have to look after our students, parents, and also our staff. I always come up with the staff. when they can say, yeah, but your duty is to look after the students and parents. And I know, man, my staff too. So when I write a newsletter for my parents, I make sure that I write a newsletter for my staff, giving them tips about one thing or the other, or advising them about things that comes in the community. So we do have, and I don't know if you know, but there are quite a few companies, but I know very much about Lighthouse, for example. They have been given a lot of free support forum. For example, there was I think they've shifted to the Monday evening every 2 weeks, where they give teachers a platform to express themselves. Among teachers is a safe place where you can talk about whatever is what you're living through. And what has been nice is that we have had people from Russell Kema, Fujairah, people who were just joining from everywhere, and we are all feeling that we are living the same issues. And the main thing that it was mainly the demands of the school. So the psychologist who was supporting us was telling us that, how can you say no? You have the right to say no. Let's find a way that we can all feel comfortable to be said, that's my limit. And that was good. So it's very nice to find out these kind of forums where you can find people who can support you, who can really understand you, where you are understood, where you can express yourself without being judged. Because it's very important, because it's a free, we need to be able to express exactly how you feel. And it's okay to say, as I said, it's okay to say no. So when we come to parents and students, I'm always there. And what about staff? Now, I work in a school where we are 2,800 and I'm alone, completely alone, where I was doing inclusion, school well-being, as well as ELL. Over the years, I've let go of ELL and inclusion, and I have now doing just the well-being. And in 2 years' time that I've been just focusing on that, my success is what? When people knock at the door. I say, can I see you, please? That's your success. That's when you know that you've made it. If I have to wait for SLT to say something, they will say when it comes. But the success is when people knock at your door and say, do you have a time to speak with me? That it is a teacher or whoever. And that, for me, that's the biggest success. So please don't ever forget that the staff, if we cannot be there for our own staff, then what's the point? Yes, miss. So the schools are experts in the well-being by looking at the counseling, they're looking at the pastoral care, they're looking at the parenting, they're looking at the exam stress, they're talking about bullying, all the basic stuff about time management. But where are we here? Where are we? Nowhere. There's not a place here. It's all about what we need to do as teachers. But have we really taken the time to think about us? So that's why we need to bring a change. So the schools have wealth of institutional knowledge and experience when it comes to all range of students' well-being. And we are doing all this, and we are expert in all this. And we will say mental health week, and then bullying week, and speak about this, speak about that. But yes, but we are also not a robot. We need to, a certain time, someone needs to take care about you. Yes, miss. So promoting the staff well-being. I would like you to take 2 seconds, if possible, maybe a minute, take a minute, to think about what has your school done to promote your staff well-being. You can write it in the chat, please. That would be a good idea to share afterwards. Please use this. It will be really fantastic if you can have this. Just write down what has your school done for you, for that the school offered for the staff well-being, and that really made a change for you. Please participate. It's really we are here for you, but we would like you to be there for me today. That would be nice. Please write here. I can see that Catherine has been writing a lot, but nobody else.
So, come on, everyone. You know how challenging it can be to deliver these sessions. So having people support and contribute, it's what the community is all about. So
absolutely, there's no wrong answers. And if you don't participate, that means that your school is not doing anything for you. It's coming in. So, well done.
So Risti, your principal leaves staff off early on certain days. That's real good support from senior leadership, and doesn't happen very often. A staff club at school, and part of it organizing activities. That's really nice. It's so good to have that connect outside of school as well, so that people are engaging in not just work, and it helps build friendships, doesn't it? I'm a new mother. They've allowed me to come an hour late. Gosh, that's brilliant. Prizes, appreciation of teachers. That's just lovely.
I like the recreation room. I think that's fantastic, Sapna. I think that's great, where you can stand up, go and play a game, distress, and come back. That's amazing. Really nice.
A well-being
Really nice.
week, yeah. A lot of the schools here in Allain are doing well-being weeks. I'm hearing a lot about them. They sound awesome.
Right, and the shout-outs. There are also quite a lot of shout-outs, but that sometimes that put pressure on other teachers, so that, you know, they also need to, they feel that, oh, I also need to shine in a certain way. We are not looking at that, so please. Very good. Keep going, and I'll keep going with my presentation. Yes, miss.
And we can share these also on the email as kind of like a compilation of ideas for everybody to take from.
Okay, so where I am here. So as I was saying that, well, this is what's coming from us. It's that this means, so there are 5 points. One of the point is give a long-term commitment to the well-being. So for example, in the beginning of the year, we would have a survey where we would say, what do we want to change, or what we would want to bring in? So we did that, and we take 1 or 2 ideas that we are going to work across the whole year. And that has been very good, because there is a succession to the main idea to support, and that was really nice. So it can be from the positive psychology, or it can be about, once again, yeah, about the future education. It's always about teaching and learning. It can be some things about sports. It can be, you know, we have then, for example, online with the 30-30, but it was already before that. We used to have a yoga session once a week and Zumba session once a week. But now for the 30-30, there was lots of things that was happening, and done by the PE department, and that was great. Then we have the talent show that we have had once a week. We would sit down. We have some amazing teachers who are singing, wow, in every language. So you could be there with a drink or whatever, and then we would have this kind of things around, and that was nice. What we have introduced now, and I felt that that was something, as I said, the principal went on, was the WAS Award, which is the Wellbeing Award for schools. And what I've done, I've said it's vertical, it's horizontal, it's diagonal, so everybody takes part. That means that it's not only students, it's not only teachers, it's also parents. So it becomes a responsibility of all of us. As we are already doing, as counselors, we are looking after our students, we are writing newsletters and podcasts. We are already doing so much of presentation and all that. We are part of PSHE or the assemblies and all. So you are having coffee mornings with your parents virtually. You are doing so much already. So, you know, it's just putting all that together and then creating little groups of people around you who are going to be your delegates to do things for you. So lots of things are already happening. And that brings how do you say, now we have created, because in the new school we have a CIS radio. So in the morning, I've put students from year 7 and 12, 8 and 11, and like that, I've put students together, 9 and 10, and every day they're going to speak about the highlight of the news and then the thought of the day. And that's creating, you know, that's giving importance to the student's body, as well as sharing all these, how do you say, empowering them that they have something to do and it's part of their well-being. So that is very nice. So, you know, there are lots of things you can do. And now that we are so rich in this media room, there's so much that we can happen. And we have also created a music space for students during break time to express themselves. And that uplifts us. We don't only have the national anthem, we have other musics also that's playing in the school. So there's lots of things happening. Yes, miss. And you can see in the middle of the day, the teachers that are trying to, they have this dance move going on the music and all. That's really nice. So where we were speaking with our colleagues abroad, because, you know, GEMS is around the world, and one of the things that they had on their well-being was the Feel Good Friday. And the Feel Good Friday was a day that you could come with any clothes. You know, you still had to look decent, of course, but it could be jeans or whatever, but it could be a much more relaxed day. And that was bringing already a shift in the mind of the people, where they felt it was already bringing them into the weekend mood. So that was really nice. So there are other things that you can bring in. You know, we have Mufti days or things like that. So we have team sports that they used to do this. So they has to, some of them used to do the Mindful Mondays. Others, we have yoga day. The other one had the Feel Good Friday about on specific days of in the term. Yes, miss. Also, what you could share there was, for example, your in the community, there are lots of things happening. Sometimes there are free coffees, there are free this, free that. Well, you just put that on a slide and just post it or share it with your staff that, okay, this week this is happening, so that they know. Sometimes they don't get across something that you have read, and you have for every price, you know, you can something have really for free, something with a minimal payment or things like that. So the other things that we did also was on regular basis. As I said, in September we did, and August we did a survey. We did again a survey in November. So for us to know where are we with the well-being. So how good are you going to rate your current well-being? Is there anything that you're finding that is particularly challenging? What came out, I can share with you, is the workload. Workload is the #1 coming back all the time. Not only it came in last term, because there was a long shift, you know, from face-to-face to distant learning hangouts and learning teams and learning this and learning that. And we had a lot of hiccups with the internet and all that. So that was that. But now it is still the workload that's coming back as a big time. So is there anything that we can do to support this, to change this? So now, yes, the SLT for us has been looking that after a certain time, after 5 o'clock, they don't expect us to be responding our mail and our phone calls. Well, sometimes for me, that doesn't work. As I'm the only counselor, if I don't reply the next day, I need a day of 48 hours to fill in the day before that I said I'm taking a break. I know very well next week winter break is coming. I know already that I'll be working certain hours because parents want to continue some counseling sessions, because those are my red flags. So now I've put it to the SLT, and you know, if you give in and you do it for free, the problem is they're going to expect more from you. So I said, these are the parents who are demanding to continue some sessions during the holiday because they're too long of a break. Are you okay for me to continue? So the principal said yes. So I said, thank you very much, because I'm going to keep a record of all my timing so that I can take off when I need in the next term. So I'm not asking to be paid, but I want time off. So then he has understood that I'm not just going to do it for free. I did it in the summer. I'm not going to, I became wiser, and I said, I'm going to demand something that I need an early leave or whatever it is. So please think about yourself. It's very important. So this is why there are ways around where you can do this. You can use SurveyMonkey, there is Google Docs, so there are so many different ways that you can do this. And I think it's important that you express what's not going well. So another thing that was there was the CPDs that the teachers needed to attend. So we reviewed the CPDs, and we had reduced the number of hours that they needed to attend. And we have also reviewed the titles, the topics, and reviewed that, so that we can really see if it's necessary for everybody to go through, or the teachers who really needed to, because we have, how do you say, analyzed the needs in certain teachers and not in others. So that's another way that you can support. And that's a support that can only come from SLT. Yes, miss. So the most important is to create a culture of support. If that doesn't come from us, that's never going to come. That means that what the Professor Martin Seligman said, it's the most important is to what is right with you, not to say what's wrong with you, but just say what's right with me. I'm okay to do this. And then you can say, I'm not okay to do that. So when you can say what's okay, what's right with you, you're more positive. And what we want, it's the way we speak. Because if we start and we listen, and our job as counselors is that, you know, we always hear the negative. But when we can express the negative in a more positive way, half of your problem is already solved. And it's just a way of speaking. So when we can say what's right with me, I was really able to do my parents-teachers meeting today. That was absolutely right. What was difficult a little bit, it was I had 2 difficult parents, and I'm just going to pass it on to the SLT just for them to know I had a little struggle there. Why do I do that? Just to cover myself, because if these parents are going to contact the school, at least I've been ahead and say, I had a difficult conversation there, so that you're aware of, and the parents' demands were a little bit out of line. Because if they think that we teachers are not working, I always say we, even if I'm not part of the teachers' quota, I always say, because I associate myself with the teachers, because I understand the amount of work that they are putting in. And I don't dissociate that. So it's very important that we feel like we are as a team. So for us, CIS, that Cambridge has adopted a strong base approach towards working with our students, parents, and staff. The staff is not the least. For example, for this Thursday, I've taken from year 7s, thank you notes. They are going to write thank you, appreciation notes for all the support staff. We are going to have an assembly for them in the auditorium, our new auditorium, where we can have 900 people. So we will have distant places where we can have one by one coming and really value their work, how quickly they shifted from the previous campus to this campus, how they made us work and make this workplace really an amazing place. So if we don't stop to say thanks, who is? And if you think about, poor people are working on such a low salary. So our morning welcome and afternoon and good evenings and how is your family and all matters most to them, more to them than being ignorant and looking at them like a plant sitting there. So and that's what I wake up my students to. I want to wake up that students to say that, you know, your clean toilet and your clean classroom, it's thanks to these people. Don't take it for granted. So that's what we want to create in them. So it's an approach that focuses on lifelong growth and development. It's because I can see, speak only about my students, many of my students are speaking very low when they refer to their housekeepers. And that bugs me big time. And I said, well, your room wouldn't be the way it is if it was not for them. So where is your thank you? Oh, well, she's very well paid. Excuse me. That's not, it's not good enough. It's not, as we want a continuous or not continuous, let's say, we would like SLT or others to stop and say, good job, you've done a good job. Not everybody has a thick skin. I know I have, but anytime, even that I know and that I have, I do stop and say to the SLT from time to time, it is good to say that I've done a good job. I know you think that I know or I should know that I'm doing a good job, but it's also good to hear it from others. We all need that. We all need that. I know that I have a red carpet when I want with some ideas, put it across GEMS. They're always there to think about, and then they will refine it and see how we can implement it. And that's great. That's great. It's also good to say, you know, well done. Well done. What? Just 2 words. It's good enough. And we have to give that to the others too. Yes, miss. So I think this is a very important part. This is, you know, it's not because I think that they should have stopped that. I feel that the KHDA should not happen or the ADEC inspection because we are under a lot of pressure. But that's they are looking into how we are adjusting what we are doing for the community. So it's nice that they are very empathetic and understanding also. But it's not only that, we have also the teacher's appraisal. And teachers are scared. This teacher's appraisal doesn't need to be something to put a teacher down. I always felt that the teacher's appraisal is something to tell you, whoa, you're doing this good. If I give you this, you can do it even better. And if you can do this, if I associate you with that teacher, I'm sure that you will be learning something that will pull you even further. Okay? I feel that that's what appraisal is about. It's not about you should have done this and you should have done that. I think that era is past. We are not in that time anymore. Now, I've been lucky when I came to work here 20 years ago. I've knocked on so many doors, and so many doors were opening up and showing me the way to work, because my background is for clinical psychologist. I speak French. English national curriculum is completely new to me because I was in a French one, speak 4 languages in school, so completely different. So they helped me to learn how to go with things and go with the flow. We have created such a strong support in the community, all for free, because we care. Catherine is very much like that. Louise is very much like that. Lots of us who are there to support the community. But also when we write these things, we get something back too, because, oh, I didn't think of that. Because I'm 50 plus, So for me, I'm still learning, and I have so much to learn. I learn every day from my students, and this is why I feel that these kind of platforms are teaching us so much. And all these ideas that you're putting across here, it's so nice. And as Catherine said, we are not the experts. We are not at all. And I know that when I have quite a few colleagues who left, they were so knowledgeable. And I can see, unfortunately, that in our new generation, it's not the same. And I would only say that in the way that we are working, in the field that we are working, you would be so successful if you are there for each other. Because it's not about the I, it's about the we. And with the we are going to be so stronger than if it's about the I. I know my value, but my value is nothing without my colleagues, without my students, without my parents. So that's where my energy comes from. So please think about that. So your appraisal, and if the school is going to appraise when you feel it's negative, you have a voice. Please voice that, under current circumstances, I feel that I've done the best with what I've been given. Because I know the resources in certain school is not great, and they expect you to do so much from the top of your head, or create things, or find things, or even invest. I know I've invested a lot in the school, because if I had to wait when my children needed something, because when I come to school this year, I always say to the parents, they're my children. I'll deal with them as if they're mine. So when they needed something, I've invested in them at that time. And then sometimes parents pay back, sometimes not, and it was fine. But when parents have seen that it was working, well, that's a success. That's what we need. So please, 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 don't let them put you down. It's just to show you this is where you are. This is where you can be, not where you should be. There is no more should, could, would. Please, it's where you can be. Yes, miss. So this is an example where I'm saying, so the working towards, it's something that you have put in, you have filled in. This is what you would like to improve. Now the CIS, this is where we are giving you ideas on how we can do. And then we can, in the third one, it's putting you in relation, in a liaison with another teacher who may not be at all from the field that you are, and just to uplift you even further to get you there. So that's the point. The school should be supportive, okay? And I don't know how you say it in English, but not to be pushing you down. So that's for me, the appraisal. Thank you, miss. So promoting staff well-being, loads of changes, yes, during the COVID. You know very well what you have been through. And if you want to share that, please do not hesitate to share, because I'm sure that lots of others can relate with you, that what you have been going through, they must say, oh yes, that was for me too. So I know, for example, one of my colleagues, she was telling me, I have been on, how do you call that? A false positive. And she needed 2 negative to come back in school. She was going crazy. She's ahead of year, very proactive, very strong lady, and not being in touch with adults, being stuck in the house with her husband and 2 lovely children, but being stuck in the house for nearly 5 weeks and having no symptoms at all. She was just going mad, mad, mad. And she was on the verge of crying. When she came back, the first day that she got a positive, she made sure she was always in touch with me on WhatsApp and with Zoom. But when she came to me and said, Suzie, I need to hug you. I'm off. I'm not, I say, I'm fine with that. I'm not a problem at all. But that physical contact meant a lot. And I want to stop here 2 minutes, because we forget about certain things. We don't value enough the physical contact, that touch on the back of your hand, that shaking hands, that high five. You can clean your hand after, but that means a lot to many of us. If I think about my father, that I think that my father let himself, he was fighting a lot because there was a lot of things. He was 85 and was a lot of things from 2 years that he was going through, nothing serious, but I think at the end, it was just that we were not allowed to visit him in the hospital. He knew that we were not allowed. We are all around the world. I have a sister in America, brother in Belgium, me here, sister in Singapore, another one in India. When they know that we could not visit him anymore, he felt literally let down, literally. And I think he just decided, well, if I'm not needed here, let me go and join my wife back. you know, and it really was all the time thinking, Mom is calling me. How many times he was saying that? And I see now when we, in Belgium, again, in October, there was a huge thing. My mother-in-law was the same. That's the only family member that we have now left. She's 83. And you know that you're not allowed to go to older people's houses because we have to be protective of them. You cannot visit because you have to be into your own bubble. Can you imagine for the elderly people who are not allowed to play bridge, who are not allowed to go out, they are not allowed for this and that because we are afraid for them to catch anything, but they are drying like a plant of loneliness. So you can just imagine what's doing for our young staff members who are alone and who are not seeing people. It's the same effect. So we need to be there just to say, hi, how are you doing? Even if you don't know the person, that's more than enough. Yes, miss. So what we need to prioritize in the well-being, it's the work scrutiny. We have to do the learning walks. This is what we do. We are looking at the quality assurance of our work. We do lesson observation. We do appraisals, and we do performance management. This is putting all a big pressure on our well-being. So if this is still, these points are still the focus of your school more than the how you're doing, we have a problem. And you need to raise that problem. It's all this is fine, but nothing of this you will manage if you're not okay. And we say that like every little link of each of us, we are a link to each other. If one of the link is weak, means that the other link may become weak. And that is why we need to be strong together. So you may have a colleague who is really not doing well, and if they can't voice it, please voice for them. I've seen that, Catherine, I'm going to use again. I've seen that Catherine was able to do that. I've seen that lately she's not herself. She's become so withdrawn. Are you sure she's doing okay? Go and speak to the HR. Go and speak to the SLT or someone, so that someone can be there and look after Catherine and say, hey, Catherine, are you doing okay? And just having that chat with that SLT member, well, actually she can say, well, no, it didn't. I'm not so great because my cat is lost or my cat is gone and I can't find my cat back. And she's my best partner over the past 6 months or whatever it is. Whatever Catherine's story is, she's now having a platform to share. It may be something small for you. It's well, who cares about a cat? But that may mean a lot to her. That cat may be just everything to her. Okay, so we need to be non-judgmental, but being able to prioritize the well-being. Yes, miss. Second thing is to listen to our staff. As we said, we were speaking about this, that we have been speaking about that the staff are reporting of not being okay. And if you see the next one, so that was last term, because there was a peak on where people were able to say, whoa, we were working till 11 and 12 o'clock at night. And I still have members of SLT at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I said, well, if you're not going to look after yourself, who will? One of our SLT member, I told him, if you are not, I'm giving you a challenge. You challenge me, now I'm challenging you. If you don't reduce 7 kilos, you used to be a PE teacher. If you are going to be seen like this by your students, how do you want to promote against obesity if you're not yourself fit? That hit him so badly that he started to lose weight. And he said, you are like a sister to me. I said, you take me for whoever you want me to be. I'll be that person, I'm sorry to be rude, to kick your ass. And he's an SLT member, but we have such a great relationship that I can speak with him that really woke him up. And I said, I know you lost your father, I did too. But if we're going to go down the drain, what is the example that we set for our students and parents? And that was so true. Yes, miss, the next one, please. Now, if you see on the next slide, yeah, no, not this one, but I will speak about this one. Teachers have been supportive. Yeah, this one. Look at this. Okay, look at this one. How bad in October, November, how the morale of the staff has gone down. There are so many new cases because of the expectation, because KHGA is going to come, because this, because that. So we need to really open our mouth. This is bad. It's worse than the term 1, the term 3. If you're not going to do something about it, the school will have a lot of support staff and not enough of teaching staff left. Okay, so we need to be careful, and we need to tell them, hey, enough. Yes, please. So people are thinking to remove the midterm. Yeah, you remember there was a survey. I hope that there was a survey going on, because some schools had decided that we are going to stop. We are not going to have this midterm. Thank God that the KHDA said, well, it is going to depend on the schools. You need to pass a survey. Thank God for that. Pass the survey. And so there was the thing, or you have the midterm and we'll finish early July, or you don't have the midterm and we're finished in June. Now the teachers are thinking back. Unfortunately, from my school, we had it in October. We won't have the February one. Now the teachers are thinking, oh my God, what did we vote for? How are we going to manage 3 months without that break? Because there's nothing in between. There's nothing. If it would be term 3, it's fine, because we have shorter hours with Ramadan. There's lots of things coming in. We have a spring break coming in and all that. But from January till March, we have nothing. Like now, there was a big term also, September till December. We just had National Day. There was nothing. So our teachers are literally down on the floor, on their knees. So we have to be very careful what we are doing when we choose. So every 6 weeks, it's very important that we have this. That the French system has understood that very well. Every 6 weeks, they have a week off with the weekends. That makes 10 days. And that has been over the years. My children started in French school years ago. So I can say 31 years ago, I know that was in place. And it's still very much there, because they've understood the need of that. So there's a very new increase on the pressure on the staff. And we need to put that focus. We have to shift that back on the teachers, so that the parents can, the SLT can understand the priority of the staff well-being. And it's not, when I speak about the staff well-being, it's not about giving you a cake or giving you free lunches. It's more than that. It's more than that. Yes, please. So what has changed also, it's the timetabling. So the timetabling, for example, is giving a breadth of time. Yes, we have the syllabus to focus on. So what we have done is primary, for example, they have 3 breaks. So that has given, so 2 hours, 1 hour break, 2 hours, 1 hour break, and then like that. So that has really helped the students as well as teachers not to feel overwhelmed. Okay, in the secondary, we finish at 2:10. So the buses can leave on time. It's also given the teachers to leave a little bit early. We don't have CPDs. You can do it from home. So you don't have to stay long hours in school. So you can have that in the, how do you say, in the relaxed place of your family to do so. Now, of course, there are some teachers who prefer working from schools because they don't have the space or the internet to do so at home, but you have a choice. So there are certain things that were put in place. Yes, please. Also, the other thing that we've put in place is giving the ability to use the school buses per area, so that when it is to come back and forth to school, they don't have to use the taxis and things like that, that the buses can carry them back and forth to do so. Yes, miss. So what has also changed, what we have brought in place, is also that we have had muffin days provided by parents, where we have had packed lunch for our support staff, where we have had coffees and teas with our computers, you know, when we are sitting down online, and virtual coffees and all that. I have with my parents once a month, afternoon tea with Miss Suzie, where we discuss about different things. It can be a topic that they want to discuss or what. And just recently we had the free lunches, my God, it's not on Friday, it was on Thursday by the school that we have had this after the 30-30 challenges that we have had. We have done these challenges not among staff also, but also with the parents. That was great too. So there are different ways. As I said, it's not only among us, we can also put the students and the parents in this. So, you know, it connects you into a better community. So there are different ways where we can have these things, and we need to just stop some time to reflect on ourselves. Yes, miss. Another one that we have had was also the community events. As I was saying, that we have had live broadcasts of songs. We have had quiz nights. We have had bingo nights. Lots of things you can have like this. We have the songs competition between North India and South India. So lots of things that they were. And then we had teachers who are coming from Africa. And so they were more about this thing with dances, and it was just amazing to see that energy going. And believe me, it was not teaching staff, it was also support staff, and they felt so good to be part of our well-being community at that time, that I think it's really great to put all this together, to include them in the dance. And I learned my dance moves from them. That I have another wedding. My daughter is wanting to hopefully get married next year. We have always had a family dance, and I have something in mind, and I'm learning this from my support staff, and they're just amazing. So please, yes, Miss. The last one is about the CIS news. Is Stop and Talk. It's this radio where we speak 5 minutes to the staff about anything. It can be just something reflective, that it can be from Bernie Brown or from anybody that you believe in. There is Joe Dispenza, there is this man, I have his face in front of me, I can't see, I will find out. And really pep talks of 5 minutes. You have, I know that Lighthouse is doing a lot. If you follow them on Instagram or they are on Facebook pages, there's a lot of going on from that side also. And there's a odd pep talk, but nothing is going to work if you are not allowing yourself to bring a change. If you're going to listen to all this and say, I'm going to do that later never comes. That time needs to come now. That time needs to come now. Like me, before I start seeing my clients, one thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to have 45 minutes to do yoga for myself. So you need to have some time for you. And if you don't have time to go to a class, you have lots of things online available. Yes, Miss. So who's responsible of this? You have a lot of this. You have the physical responsibility towards yourself. You have the financial. You have a responsibility about your family. The social, connecting with the community, can be about your large family. Could be your work. It can be your whatever, emotional engagement. All this matters. But who is going to be in charge of this? Yes, Miss. Who is responsible? So who should be responsible? Is this the school or you? And I want you to answer that for yourself. Please put it in the chat here. Who's responsible of your well-being, of the staff well-being? Yes, Miss. Please use the chat. It's sad that I didn't think of the Mentimeter, but that would have been very nice. So we have 180 days, 180 days that we have to fit in all the work. But what about our work balance? What is going to do about the rest? How many of us are really thinking during the holidays, during the holidays, we are not thinking of taking time off. We still are thinking about planning from, okay, I'm going to study, I'm going to do a course, because when we'll come back in September, I will be empowered to do this and that. So that holiday time, it's taken for, to upskill ourselves. But that's again related to the work. When I am honestly saying, my holidays, when I'm so burnt out at that time, I'm not even able to open a book that's related to work. I read a lot. I read 10 to 12 books during summer, but I'm unable to really open something because I need that time off. Yes, Miss. So creating a culture of being supportive, open, where there is no judgment, where there is no bullying. It needs to be completely safe. We need to feel safe when we speak to someone in school. We need to have that sense of belonging. I always felt my school to be my second family. I've not been there for no reason. It's easy to move schools. Yes, if you're looking for better salaries or what, that's not at all my point. So you can always, but every school has their own agenda. So if we think it's better elsewhere, think why it is not good for you now. Because sometimes the problem is within us and not the others. So you have to have that sense of belonging. You have to create and take part on these community events. Now, if I speak about that, one of the things that was very much for us, and GEMS used to have a family time, and we had that means when they fit family, it was across all GEMS, and we were signed up. I used to sign up for tennis, and I won many prizes for Madame Varke Award for tennis, because I used to play against many colleagues that I would have never met otherwise. But on that day where we were playing tennis, tennis challenges across the day, and that was so nice. Unfortunately, now it's not happening because GEMS has become very huge, but those are the kind of things that we used to have. So they were already thinking of the well-being of the staff. Staff picnics, staff things, and so many things were already there. But now we are putting more in place and checking with your colleagues about how you're doing today. That's so important. How are you doing? Hi, how are you? Please don't be, and I'm sorry if there are any Americans here. Americans are very good. Hi, how are you doing? And we move on. We don't even listen to the answer because that's the way they're brought up, you know, they just say and then they're not listening. I want you to do the Belgian way, the French way. When you say, hi, how are you doing? Stop and listen. Actually, I'm not doing so great. Yes, miss. Sorry for the delay. I'm just going to do very quickly. So the time and workload, look at that. Look at the timetable. Look at the reporting cycle. Do you need more time? It's okay to say if you cannot support the deadline. Okay, all this is already in place. They're going to, they think about all this for you. That administrator, the teaching assistant, who is going to be allocated and all that. But the SLT needs to be more understanding around these points. And that if you need to, the report to be more at breadth because you couldn't finish, tell them why you couldn't finish it and you will get some extra time. Okay, reduce whatever we can, wherever we can. That can happen only if you speak. Please don't be scared of the SLT. And if they come across being monsters, then you are in the wrong school, honestly saying. Yes, miss. So what's important is to have enough sleep. Even at our age, we need at least 8 hours of sleep. So having early nights, I know I met a teacher, an amazing lady. I was going for an appraisal of a school and helping them out. And so we are different people from different GEM schools. And this lady tells me at 9, I'm in bed. I wake up at 4. I'm in school at 6. I do so much between 6 and 8 that time for me is the most valuable one. I looked at her and say, do you have a life? And she had a life, but she's prioritized because she enjoys so much her work, and hats off to her. Hats off to her. It's true now that we change and my school is further down. It's true I needed to change. And I thought of her and said, okay, I'm going to go to bed at 10. I wake up at 5:30. I need to leave at 6:30 to be before 7 in school. Because believe it or not, as much as my principal loves me, Jesus Christ, a few weeks ago, he pulled my socks in such a bad way that I refuse to see him now. I refuse to see him because I think he's been out of line, especially because I'm older than him. There's a way to pick up with someone. You can say whatever you have to, but in a certain way. So I am waiting for an apology, that's for sure. And he has understood that. So he's coming up, he's trying to have coffee with me, and he knows exactly what he needs to do for me to go down and sit with him. I am not going to do that. He doesn't do that because that day I was 2 minutes late, 2 minutes late. He didn't even bother asking why. There was a truck turned around and the police stopped us. Was that my fault? And he said, you need to foresee that. I told him my little finger didn't speak to me, and he just went on, and I went on, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm stopping this because it's not going anywhere. And since that day, that's it. I email him, he emails me back, and we speak about the school and everything, but he needs to do something, because if you don't respect yourself as a person, then that's not going to happen. So it's very important to stay healthy, to do exercise, not to say I'm going to do that later. That doesn't happen. So please be careful about that. So if you don't prioritize your well-being, as I said from the beginning, people is not going to think about it for you. Yes, miss. So mental health, it's getting the support. If you feel that you have some downtime or you are not doing so well, it's okay to admit it. And the sooner you are going to admit, the faster you're going to have the help, because people are there, they care. People do care, honestly. But it's okay to say, I'm not okay. And then investigating, in engaging a counselor or finding someone, having some supervision. I have supervision once a month, or having a life coach, someone to guide you, an external eye on you, to be about to help you to deal with what you are going through. We know as counselors that sometimes we deal with very difficult cases. And sometimes the approach that you have may not be the best, or you don't have the right views on it. And just having that external person to whom you can unload yourself, it's amazing. It's amazing. I must say that on day-to-day, I have that because my husband is my best friend. And sometimes I can tell him, I don't need a husband, I need my best friend. And he's able to just change in hat. And he just does that. He physically just does that. And then he would say, okay, as a friend, I would tell you this. And I love it. I love it. We've known each other for 40 years. We are married for 35 years. We have an amazing family where we speak a lot. We value that a lot. We made sure that my daughter-in-laws and my son-in-law to be understand how much we value speaking, because we cannot read minds. I always say that, because we're very international. I have an American daughter-in-law, I have a daughter-in-law from Romania, and I will have a son-in-law from Italy, and we are from Belgium. I have a son living in Africa, a daughter living in England. We are international. So we need to understand each other. We have to understand the culture of one another to be able to live together. So this is what I'm trying to say. So I spoke to you a lot about the Lighthouse. I spoke to you about the teachers support group. There is a lot of support group for COVID also offered. There's parent support group offered. There is teen-to-teen support group offered by them. There is various crafting things that you can do in the community. There is drama. There is how do you call that? And it's virtual, huh? And then you have sewing classes, you have knitting classes. And although you think that I'm very busy, I have just made a quilt for my daughter-in-law, because she's going to expect her first baby in June. So, that's very relaxing. Find what works for you. There's so many things that you can do. So, as I said, it starts from you. Yes, miss. Voilà, I'm coming to the end of myself and my speech. So I hope that it was very valuable for you. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Thanks, Catherine, for giving me the floor.
Thank you so much, Susie. We haven't had any questions in the chat throughout, which is highly unusual. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to say to add in person? Well, if not, as usual, we will. I feel, Susie, you are awesome. I feel so much energy after listening to you. Hats off to you and all you do. Thank you so much, Annie. She's amazing, eh?
Thank you.
As usual, guys, we will share all of these ideas. I'll make a PDF with all the ideas from the group chat that have awesome tips and tools to use for supporting well-being in schools, because there were loads of them. And we'll share them in the email. And if anyone wants to help and support and maybe make a presentation, join us presenting, please let me know. We're always keen to have people come and support as well. And if you know anyone in the community, particularly guys, anybody down in Allain, I'm based in Allain now, so I'm trying to gather as many connections down here as well. And thank you so much for the lovely comments.
Catherine, I will also email you the names of the book and the talks that I'm following that are really great. I'm sure that people will enjoy them.
I can add them into the email. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for your time. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time, or maybe it's 3. It depends on the holidays. I'll send it out in the email. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a lovely evening, guys. Thank you so much, Susie. It was awesome as usual.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. I've got to dash, Susie. I've got another meeting to pop into, so I'll catch up with you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, guys.